Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am bringing a video that I feel like everyone needs to hear sometimes because there are moments where we don't necessarily want to do something. There are moments where we don't have the energy to do things. And so today I kind of wanted to walk you through my brain and how I process and get myself to do things when it's hard or when it's difficult. And I have like a literal list of ways to make it easier, to make it more enjoyable in a way that we are still able to take care of our home, take care of the things that we need to do while still bringing glory to the Lord. And so I always start off by reminding myself of what God's word says. And one of my favorite verses ever is Titus 2, specifically Titus 2, 3 through 5. And if you haven't read the book of Titus, I highly suggest it. It's so small and so cute. But it says, older women likewise are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers or slave to much wine. They are to teach what is good and to train the young women to love their husband and children, to be self-controlled, pure, working at home, kind, and submissive to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be revealed. And so taking care of the home is something that's biblical. In Titus, it's telling older women to teach younger women how to love their husbands and children and take care of their home, be pure. It's like literally listing off all these things. So I remind myself that this work that I'm doing is not in vain. And the Bible makes it very clear that we are to do anything as if we're doing it for the Lord. And so something as stinky or nasty as cleaning a toilet, when you do it to bring glory to the Lord, or you do it as if you were serving the Lord, there can be such fulfillment and such beauty and such purpose in that. And so I always just start off by reminding myself of that. Another great verse that I know we are all so familiar with is Proverbs 31. She is a great example of what it looks like to be an excellent wife. And there's just a list of characteristics of things that she does. And so I highly suggest you reading that too. But I want to give you some very practical tips of how I do things when it's hard. First, I ask myself the question of, does this actually need to get done right now? What you're seeing me do today in this video is my weekly cleaning that I do in the bathrooms, all upstairs, basically the whole house. I do this thorough clean once a week. And the week prior to this, I did not do it simply because we had a lot going on. We were grieving with a friend. I had kids that were sick. And so last week I had to ask myself the question of, does this actually need to get done right now? And it didn't. The most important thing that I needed to have been doing last week was snuggling my babies, was taking care of a friend, was making extra meals for a friend, going and grieving, and there were so many other things that were way more important than me actually taking care of my home. And so there are moments where the house actually can and should wait. And so it's not to say that you should never do it and every single week come up with an excuse as to why you don't need to do it. But there are some serious urgent matters and reasons that the house can wait. If you're postpartum, if you just had a baby, if your baby is teething, if your child is sick, if a friend really needs you in this moment. There are so many reasons why the house can wait. And so for me, when I answered this question last week, my answer was no, it actually doesn't need to get done right now. And so it didn't get done. But it has been a week now, and we just came back from vacation. The house was kind of left behind, and I did not take care of it before we left. And so it felt like I came back to a really big mess. And so did this actually need to get done right now? For me, the answer was yes. Now, if the answer is yes, then I go and ask myself and write down every single task that needs to be done and kind of prioritize it. And so I always tend to prioritize laundry. And so, but today I actually didn't, because the laundry that needed to be done was laundry that we had used on our vacation, which was all summer clothes. And so it didn't urgently need to be cleaned and washed because no one is going to be wearing those right now. They would have just gone right back into storage. And so I started a load, but taking care of laundry was not top of my list. Neither was unpacking our suitcases. To me, the top of the list was actually cleaning the bathroom and getting the upstairs vacuumed and dusted and organized. And so sit down, literally sit down and write what are the things that you plan on accomplishing, and then prioritize them. I highly suggest that you set a realistic timer for each one of these things. And so today, for the video that you're seeing here, the timing of it, I was just trying to get done what I needed to get done. So normally I wait until my baby is napping. This particular day, her nap schedule was off because we just came back from vacation. And so I had to get a little bit creative here. And there are moments where I love doing sensory with them. There are moments where we do our Bible stories. There are moments where we do Cubico boxes. There are moments where I have a plethora of things for them to do. But given that we had just came back from vacation, everyone was kind of off their schedule and we didn't get home until really late that night. Like, there was a plethora of things. I actually put on a beginner's Bible for my kids, and those are, I think, like 26 minutes. And so for me, my timer was 26 minutes. My kids were all downstairs. I knew they were safe. They were watching this, and I had 26 minutes. So set a realistic timer for each thing. For me, realistically, it takes me less than 10 minutes to clean both the bathrooms. And so I will literally put a timer on my phone and time myself. The reason I like to do this is because I do well under pressure. And so if I know I have a timer that's ticking and that I have to stick to, I work faster, more efficiently, more effectively, and I don't lollygag. I love and genuinely do enjoy cleaning, and sometimes I feel like I can lollygag, especially when it comes to the bathrooms. Like, I find myself scrubbing something that, sure, it could be scrubbed, but like, do I need to do it right now this second? No. And so setting that timer really helps keep me focused on task and getting it done quickly and effectively. And so set a realistic timer for yourself. Things actually don't take as long as we think that they do. And you'd be surprised as to how much you can get done in 10 minutes. And so set yourself a realistic timer. So for me, I knew it would take me about 10 minutes to clean each bathroom, honestly less than that. And then it took me not even 5 minutes to dust and vacuum and tidy up all of the rooms. So you can get a lot done. I also like to separate by floor. So I personally prefer to always start on the top floor and get the hardest thing done first. Do the task that you don't like to do first, because it's just so much easier to just get it done and out of the way. I don't particularly enjoy cleaning toilets or the bathrooms, really. So I choose to do those first because starting off, I tend to have more energy. And so if I have more energy, I'm able to do the quote unquote harder things first, and then I can move on to things that I more so enjoy. I also like to start on the top floor because that doesn't get quote unquote cleaned as frequently as like downstairs. Our downstairs is constantly in use. I'm constantly cleaning the kitchen, constantly mopping, constantly vacuuming. I'm constantly doing that throughout the day. And so I even enjoy cleaning the upstairs as a whole because it's like new scenery or like things that I only like take a look at once or twice a week, if that makes sense. So I like to start at the top. The other thing that makes it really easy is to gather all of your, I want to say ingredients, but like gather up all the supplies that you will need. One of the things that makes cleaning really difficult is when you're in the middle of it and you're constantly having to stop to go grab something that you need. So I have my little cleaning caddy that has every single thing that I would need, and it's all right there. So I'm not having to stop to go grab a vacuum or have to grab a mop or have to grab a specific towel. Like, it's all there with me and I can just grab what I need and go. This saves so much time. So grab all the trash bags that you'll need if you plan on throwing trash away. Grab all the wipes that you'll need. Grab all the towels. Like, have all of your tools easily accessible and right next to you, because this will make this time go by so much smoother and so much quicker. Once I do that, I put on a podcast or I put on some music. I love to pair a task that seems mundane with something else that is pleasurable to me. And so podcasts are like my go-to, or audio Bible. I really love listening to Streetlights. I really love Ginger Hubbard's podcast, all on parenting. And so I find that the time goes by honestly a lot quicker too, because I kind of just get lost in my thinking, and then my hands are busy. My hands love to be busy. And so I find that it ends up being really enjoyable. So I noticed that the first 5 minutes of me even starting this, my heart posture was off. As I'm doing all these things, as I'm listening to this podcast, as I'm fixing my heart onto the Lord, I found myself really being able to enjoy it. The next little tip that I have is to also take frequent breaks. So if you're setting up yourself with timers and you're getting your things done in X amount of time, before moving on to the next task, take a quick little break, a water break, a coffee break, a potty break, a snack break, to just help yourself keep going. I feel like sometimes I will get so deep into the mood and end up cleaning for so long, and then I'm like, wow, I haven't drank water, I'm so thirsty, or wow, I could like really use a snack right now, I'm so hungry. So once I finish a specific task, so I finished my bathroom, I went and grabbed a sip of water, and then I finished the kids' bathroom, I went and I ate a little snack. This was also a good time for me too to go check on my kids and see how they were doing or if they needed anything. And at this point, my kids were kind of done with shows. They don't do very well with shows for that long. And so I had to take a break and redirect them. And so this worked out really well because I personally just wanted a second. My hands were starting to get soggy. And so I went to the garage and I grabbed their KiwiCo boxes. And so I situated the kids with those. They get really excited about their KiwiCo boxes. And KiwiCo is sponsoring today's video, so thank you to them for that. But if you guys aren't familiar with KiwiCo, they are STEM play boxes for your kids. And so they are each made to cater your child's needs and desires at whatever age they're at. So my youngest gets a specific box, our middle child and our oldest all get boxes that are catered towards them. And it's really fun because these boxes have STEM activities, and so it helps with fine motor, gross motor, and then my oldest two had activities to do, which they really enjoy as well. So each box comes with a parent guide that teaches you exactly what to do with them, and then a magazine. And so my kids are really already know what to do. They like open up their boxes, they get everything ready, they look through the cards, they pick the activity they want to do, and then we go and get started. And my kids love it. KiwiCo is offering you guys 50% off your first month. I will leave my link and code down below if you guys want to check it out and try KiwiCo for 50% off for your first month. So once I am done taking my short little break there, I started back up in the kids' bathroom. I don't know how, but their bathroom seems to get so dirty so quickly. So like everything just needs a really good scrub down. Now, my next little tip is to practice a heart of gratitude. This has truly changed my life this last year because when you have gratitude and when you have a thankful heart, you are able to find joy. If you do not have a thankful heart and you are constantly in discontentment or constantly in a heart of wanting and desiring more and unhappy and unsatisfied with what you have, you truly will never experience joy, because joy comes when we see that what we have is everything and more that we could ever need. And so when I find myself getting in these moods where I just don't want to, or you name it, I feel like we can always come up with reasons as to why we don't want to do something. I remind myself that I get to. Like, I have 3 beautiful children that bathe and get cleaned every single night in this tub. I remind myself that it's not necessarily the tub that I love, but the people that use the tub. And so I'm thankful I get to clean this tub for them because they get to enjoy it. And I'm so thankful that I have 3 kids that are enjoying their childhood so much that they're getting dirt everywhere and they're playing and they're building a beautiful childhood, and that I have running water that I'm able to clean them with every night, that I have soap that we are able to use, that we have this beautiful bathtub. And so changing my heart posture truly makes this task, when it gets really hard, not hard at all. It makes it such a joy and an honor to be able to do something like this. Like when I am cleaning the toilets, I remind myself, like, I'm not cleaning the toilets because I like the toilets. I'm cleaning the toilets because I love the person that's using these toilets. Like, I love my children. I love my husband. I want them to have a clean space. I'm thankful my kids are potty trained. I'm thankful they have somewhere to go to the bathroom. The list truly can go on and on about things that we can be thankful for when it comes to our home. Like, it is not exhaustive at all. And I find that there is so much joy and fulfillment in that, and the Lord humbles me so quickly. Another thing that I remind myself too is that the tasks that I'm doing are not inherently hard. I'm not performing brain surgery. I don't have a ton of of pressure where I have to like help this person and give them a heart transplant, and that if something goes wrong and I do something wrong, they are going to die. Like what I am doing is not life and death. I am simply taking care of my home. And so when I remind myself of that, I feel like it really sobers me as well, because it's not inherently hard. Cleaning these floors is not hard. Cleaning the toilet is not difficult. Cleaning the shower, like these are not quote unquote difficult things. And so, or life or death things. And so again, I feel like that also sobers me up and reminds me of why I'm even doing this and how I'm able to posture my heart towards the Lord and just do everything onto Him, and as if I was serving Him. Another thing that I really enjoy is watching the process of this coming to life. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I always like to do the harder thing first to kind of just get it out of the way. And then slowly as my energy starts to like fade away, I like to like go back into the rooms that I just cleaned and just admire it because then I feel like it's really motivating me to see like, okay, this is what happens when I put in 10 minutes of work. Like, look how different this room looks and look how different these other rooms will look afterwards. And so to me, that's like highly motivating because it keeps me on task and it keeps me moving and it keeps me rolling. Another verse that I really love and look back on is Proverbs 15. I'm going to pull it up real quick. It's Proverbs 15:17, and it says, "Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it." I'm going to read it again. Okay. Proverbs 15:17, "Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it." Basically what this is saying is that it's better to eat a plate of like herbs with like that's nothing. Like basically it's better to eat a piece of lettuce than it is to eat a nice juicy fat meat that was prepared with hatred. This verse just sits on my mind so much because I want my children to see that when I'm doing these tasks, I'm doing it with love and that I'm doing it out of enjoyment and love towards them and our home versus me being resentful and angry and bitter that I have to clean the home. Because this verse literally says it's better to eat herbs where love is. It's better to have nothing, a piece of lettuce where there's love versus eating a really fat oxen where there's hatred. So I would hate for me to spend all this time cleaning and have it be all bitter and have a spotless home filled with hatred versus having a little bit of it done with love. And so I remind myself, like, where is my heart when I'm doing this? Like, am I upset that I have to do this? Do I think I'm too good to be doing this? Do I think that my time is best used somewhere else? And again, maybe it is. That's why I ask myself the first question before I even start. Does this actually need to get done right now? Because there are moments, and I think we need to remind ourselves that sometimes the house does need to wait. Sometimes the kids need us more. Sometimes our husbands need us more. Sometimes we need true rest. This year, as we have been taking our Sabbaths and consistently taking them, I find that my burnout and me feeling frustrated with house chores and the mundane that I have to do is actually very rare. I rarely find myself in a state where I'm not able to get what I need to get done simply because my husband and I take a true day of rest. I really want to do another video on that, highlighting it because it truly has changed our lives in so many different ways. But as I went to go make this video, I was like, there was a lot that happened this last week that actually got me to the point of feeling exhausted or not really sure where to start when it gets really hard. And it was a lot of like external factors. So it was because the kids were sick. It was because I was grieving with a friend. Like there was a lot that had happened prior that normally wouldn't happen. And so I would suggest that if you are a mother, a homemaker, work full-time, whatever you do, if you don't already practice a day of rest, to start doing that. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I hope that this is helpful. Comment down below and let me know what you remind yourself of when it is really hard, or verses that you cling onto in moments where mundane tasks you don't want to do, but just really help you change your heart posture and get them done. I love you guys. Be blessed, and I will see you later this week. Bye.